Hey guys, what's going on? It's been a minute. Um, so first of all, I'm sorry that I haven't done anything more with the Manta Guide. I kind of didn't like it that I just did an off the cuff introduction that was improvised, and I decided I wanted to try to do something more scripted and organized. So I am working on that. I promise you, I'm working on that. Um, I just kind of wanted to touch base and reflect a little bit, right? Um, I kind of miss competing. I do. But at the same time, I'm glad that I quit, that I walked away. Um, I think that NRS games are just kind of doomed to be a poverty thing, right? I don't think they have any foreseeable future as the esport to begin with, but also I just don't think they have any future in terms of being competitively viable. And the reason I say that is because they have shown time and time again that they are obsessed with catering to the accessibility to the normies angle. And the normies are bad for fighting games. I think a lot of us can agree with that this is the case, that normies are just bad for fighting games. And that trying to accommodate them is a lot of what's responsible for the state the FGC is currently in, right? Um, Street Fighter V, I think, set a good precedent because it course corrected, right? It went back a lot on the things that were meant to make the game more accessible, and the game became more complex and deeper as time went on. But NRS games just feel like they're condemned to be the joke at the FGC, which sucks because I really like their games. I really like the ideas they try. They always have new wacky ideas to try, but when it comes to balancing the aspects that matters, when it comes to making the actual gameplay part of the games gel and work and feel rewarding, I just don't think they're ever going to get it right. I feel bad for the NRS community. You know, a lot of people are attached to these games big time for good reason. They have such iconic characters. They often have gameplay that you can't get anywhere else. And there is a passion to the NRS games community that you won't find many other places. It just sucks that it's also people selling themselves short on games that are half-baked and kind of sloppily put together. I really hate that that's where we are when it comes to this. I've been thinking a lot about if Injustice 3 were to be announced, would I want to come back and to compete again? I have a lot of friends in the NRS FGC I still talk to this day. I am at least very friendly with some of the top players who I like to hang out with in tournaments or play against, like Hayate, Foxy Grandpa, Ominous, just to name a few people. And I do kind of miss it, you know, but I just had to walk away. You know, my health was deteriorating, my dad was dying, I was losing my house, and my mental health was just in the gutter. And competing in Mortal Kombat 11 was definitely not going to be an escape from my problems, which I was kind of counting on it to be. But, you know, I'm not going to complain about Mortal Kombat 11 anymore. Everyone knows I think it's the worst fighting game of the 20th century. It just is. But I did do that to myself. Do I think that I could have been like a actual fantastic fighting game player that made constant top 8s? I do. I just think, unfortunately, my time was just either not yet or it was too late. You know, I got into this too late. I was already over the hill age-wise. I was 30 when I started competing. And that does me a lot in this scene. I, you know, I tried the best I could given the circumstances. Um, I might come back for an Injustice 3, but that really all depends, man. It depends on what NRS does from here, because I think that a lot of people agree that Mortal Kombat 11, whether you were a casual or a competitive player, kind of broke your trust as a consumer, and as whether or not NRS is a company worth investing your emotion, time, and money into. You know, if there's no faith that they're going to do the right thing in the next game, I don't know what to say. Especially when you've got Street Fighter V that did nothing from Season 3 onward, but attempt to shape the game into something its core fan base would be satisfied with. Right? Street Fighter V, Capcom realized the accessibility route was the wrong way to go. That it was antithetical to everything about competitive fighting games as the esports. But NRS seems to insist on doubling down on this, and they don't seem to even give enough of a shit about their games to do right about them even on that front. And I'm just kind of tired of it. I've been streaming a couple of times a week lately, some of you already know, but I don't miss competing really, not at this point in my life. I'm curious though, I mean, would you guys like to see me come back? Did any of you actually really believe in my capacity to be like a potentially top fighting game player? I don't know. Maybe I could do it for content creation, but that's such a grind, man. I'm enjoying just playing my Japanese RPGs and RTSs and all that kind of shit. But I just thought I would check in and just vent some off-the-cuff thoughts. And I would just be curious to see what you guys think, for whoever's still sticking around, who happens to watch this channel still. See ya.